There was a lady I work with, a young woman, and she's just under a lot of medication. Bless her heart, I really feel sympathetic toward her. I mean, she walks around like a zombie sometimes, you know. And I hate that she's captive by the drugs and by the pain. So I hadn't seen her for a few days, and when I saw her, I saw she was limping. I said, "What's wrong with you?" And she said, "Gout." I know, I've read gout can be very, very, very bad. And so I felt compelled to hug her, and when I did hug her, I prayed, and I felt, you know, you can call it whatever you want. You can call it power, virtue, juice. I don't care what you call it, but I felt an answer to my prayer. I felt like faith leave my body. And, you know, I let go, and we talked some more there for a minute, and then she was telling me how bad it was, and I said, "Well, you know, I'm going to tell you a secret. Sometimes when I shake people's hands, or I touch them on the back, or I hug them like I did you, I pray for them." And she said, "Well, I don't know what would make your prayer any different from my prayer, but," she said, if it works, I'll take it." And there was something else there, the intonation being that she would believe stronger if, you know, God were to effectively heal her. So I took that to heart, and so what I did is I ended up really praying for the overnight, and, you know, coming to some terms with some stuff. Forgive me, I have something in my eye there. It's not my right eye, though, it's my left eye. But, you know, coming to terms with some of my own thoughts on healing and whatnot, and realized that I came from I was actually reared in a generation 3 decades ago of the fading, healing faith ministries. You know, and by fading, I mean, once upon a time they were very powerful, and then they tried to figure it all out or something, and, you know, I don't know, chop the I am spirit into formulas, and I don't know what happened, but the end result was I would see people pretending, you know, as all I could call it, and when you did call it that, or when you said question the reality of it, you know, why isn't this person healed right now? And you know, these phrases would go around of stand on your healing, and you're healed, just wait on it, and all these kind of things. There was some ridiculous things that happened in the course of all this time, and it never really settled in my spirit, because the truth of it was naming it and claiming it with no tangible evidence. And nowhere did I read that in the Word, you know. In the Word I read that there's tangible evidence. And, you know, Jesus said, pick up your cross and follow me. He didn't say follow a religion, follow a doctrine, follow a principle. He said, follow me. And so, you know, when I follow him in the Word, he healed everybody. They were healed. I mean, plain and simple. When the disciples went out, people were healed. I don't know the difference between then and now, except they were following him. They weren't following a principle of even a good principle. So, I don't know. But I'm saying I came to face with all of this stuff when I was, you know, praying for this woman that night. And the next day, when I went in, and I made a video and everything, which I didn't end up printing, you know. But I said in the video and on my way to work, you know, Lord, if she's healed, please help me know what to say, and if she's still limping, help me know what to say. So when I got there, I went in with great apprehension. I wanted her so much to be healed. I just wanted the pain to go away for her, you know. She was in pain. And so when I got there and she was still limping, I looked down and I said, "What are you still doing limping?" And she said, "I know, right?" Or she said, "Yeah." And I said, "That's not supposed to happen. I prayed for you." And she said, "I know, right?" Well, then the hustle and bustle of work, you know, we got busy. And it was a couple hours later that I ran into her at work there, and she was just hustling. No sign of a limp whatsoever. And I said, "Look at you." And she said, "I know." She said, "I don't know. Grandma said there was people that could pray and that prayers would get answered and other people that just never get answered." And she was just kind of babbling on and said, "But she goes, it's at least 50% better." And, you know, I realized, though, there was a time when Jesus was preaching and he left where he had healed a bunch of people and fed them and everything, and they came after him, and he said, "You know, you came after me because you were fed." I realized with this woman that even though the pain had gone away, and I was grateful for that, and I'm absolutely sure she was grateful for that, there was something that when the pain is taken away, our need for deliverance goes with it. And that's what I think happened in this case. You know, her pain had went away, and it was just like it hadn't been there in a way. You know, it was just kind of gone. And, you know, ours is not the reason why or any of that kind of stuff. It's just to do and to follow and to be. And so anyway, on this journey that I'm on, you know, my world, I learned from this, but I also learned that God does heal. I was reminded that he does heal. He does it on his own. He may use a vessel here and there, but he absolutely does it on his own, in his timing, in his way. You have to see it and know it. And once the virtue leaves the body of the prayer, once the faith has left the body, it's not up to us anymore. We can go through all the little traumas we want, the crisis and the, you know, all of this stuff. It's God. It's absolutely God. And so, all of this to say that I think that faith movement of 30, that fading faith movement of 30 plus years ago, I think that affected me negatively. I really do. I saw so much, so many egos in flux, and I saw so much just charlatans, you know. And I still see them today, of course, they're still around. You know, I knew one guy who said he preached a message called "Never Die." He believed that there was a realm that a person could reach in Christ where he would never die, and he's dead. That doesn't mean that the message was wrong. You know, it just more and more. You know, I say I want the character of Christ, not necessarily the peripherals that come with it. I just want to follow Jesus. I just want to be engulfed in his love. You know, I want to be plugged in. And whatever else comes out of that, then let it come out of that, for good or for bad, for me or for him, you know, however it comes out. And I think that is one of the keys of staying in touch with the vine and not being a dead branch. Not holding on to a faded glory, or, you know, following another man or a doctrine, but just picking up your cross and following him. And whatever else comes out of that, that's all right. That's good. That's ordained of him. Jesus followed what he saw the Father doing, and, you know, did all these miracles, and he went to the cross, and he suffered. But it was all right, because he was doing what he saw the Father do. He was following and being obedient to the Father. So that's what I'm seeing anyway. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to be. I don't want to get off on any side roads or tangents or anything. I don't want to just be a follower of Paul or Apollos. No, I want to be a follower of Christ. Christ in me, in my heart. Christ, the one that has translated me from death into life. Yeah.